When I'm in pre-production, I am an everyday John Dillinger, stealing everything that I can. So in today's video, let me show you why theft could be your key to creative success. As filmmakers, we're always trying to get better at what we do, and we want to try new things. We want to emulate things that we've seen done in the movies before. And through this emulation, it's not about just straight up copying something, but it's about us putting our own creative spin on it, and that's where we start to find our own creative voice.
I've been called the songbird of my generation by people who've heard me.
So I want to walk you through my creative process on this most recent project that I've worked on. Over the last 3 months, I've been pretty quiet on YouTube, and that's because I've been working on the biggest project of my life, to be honest. So in this video, I'm going to take you through my pre-production process and how stealing got me here. My pre-production process is pretty simple. It starts off with a Miller note board, and from there I just start to design away all the things that everyone needs to know. Who's on the shoot, what crew do we have for the day, what's the script, what's the timeline of the shots, what's the shot list, etc. But it's through my theft that this whole thing comes to life. On the Miller note board, there is a portion purely dedicated to my favorite GIFs, and these GIFs are used as shot inspiration. Now this GIF mood board starts off as a little bit of a chaotic mess, but in time it starts to get refined. From here, I'll start to play with the GIFs and put them into columns to help me reference my shots a little bit better. Now you can be as detailed as you like with this, and each shoot will call for different levels of granularity, but I like to do things by breaking it down into drone shots, establishing shots. It could be transitions, it could be color, it could be lighting layouts, it could be anything like that. If you're doing automotive, it could even be hard mounted and tracking shots. I find having clean, identifiable columns for each style of shot is really handy when you're stumped and you need some inspiration for that type of shot. Through my years as a stealing con man, what I found is having these moving references in front of you is a great way for your ideas to really play out and come to life, and it's a great way to build a bit of a storyboard from there. Not only is it good to build a storyboard, but specifically something that really fits your piece. You can screen grab anything and use screen grabs instead of GIFs, but for me personally, having the movement of the GIF is very important. Think about any movie that you've seen. The movement of the camera or lack thereof, the movement of the subject or the movement of the light went a long way to telling and conveying the message of that story. So for me personally, I'm not always the best at getting what's in here out through my mouth clearly to people in my crew, and it's something I'm trying to get better at. And for me personally, having this visual reference that moves is a great way to make sure that all the crew are on the same page. And it might not be that you're replicating the exact thing in the frame, but if you go, hey, for shot A and shot B, I know it looks completely different than this GIF, but this is the movement I want to follow. It's a great way to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Film is kind of like guitar. There's only so many chords and arrangements that can be played, and most of them have already been played. For us, it's just there's only so many cameras, lenses, movements, and lighting scenarios that you can actually think of. When I'm pulling these references, it's not about stealing and recreating identically. It's more about seeing something I like, stealing it, and then using that as a source of inspiration for me to put my own spin on things, to take things from one world like the automotive industry and put it into the cooking world, or vice versa. I find that this is a great way to really get my brain ticking and getting some creative juices flowing. Not only that, it's a great way to not just bring the stories together, but to really bring the visual identity and the visual journey of the film together. So you're ready to become a creative thief, but where do you even start? There are 3 main ways that I source my GIFs. The first one is through sites like iCandy. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you know what iCandy is. If you don't, it's a visual library online that you can pick and choose from, different camera movements, different techniques. There's a whole bunch of reference GIFs. I just save those and I put them into my Miller note board. The second is the most labor intensive, but sometimes you get the most unique things. And that's downloading full videos from YouTube or Vimeo that I quite like 1 or 2 shots from. I put them into my editing software, I cut out the bits that I want to keep, and I export them as separate GIFs. From there, I drop them into my Miller note board. You can also do this with Instagram. If you find something you like on a page like Storyflow, you can screen record what you like, you can then send that to your computer, once again, cut it up in your software, export it as a GIF, and away you go. So that is the most labor intensive way, but you will get the most unique references that simply can't be found anywhere else. And finally, the third way is FrameSet. Now I know this sounds like I'm setting up a sponsorship, but I'm not. I did actually reach out to FrameSet to see if they'd be interested in sponsoring this video, and while they didn't financially commit to anything, they did give me a 12-month free trial and an affiliate link to this video. So if you don't like that, then there is a subscribe button down below you can hit and then go watch a different video. But let's talk about FrameSet for a second. It's $16 a month on a month-to-month plan, or $11 a month if you're on the yearly plan. FrameSet is just one big library of aesthetically pleasing still and motion GIFs that we can use to steal and find inspiration from. All their reference frames are taken from movies, TV shows, music videos, as well as commercials, which is a massive one for anyone here doing commercials, because at the end of the day, that's where we make our money, and most of the time I'm doing pre-production, it's for a commercial. Everything is properly categorized and searchable as you'd expect it to be, and you can make custom groups. So if you're finding inspiration for color as well as camera movement at the same time, you can be saving to each of those different custom groups, and then once you're done, you can download those in blocks where they're all the files download at once, which is really convenient, so you're not having to sift through all your downloads to go, that was color, that was lighting, that was movement. One thing I will say is the search results could at times be a little bit more accurate, and sometimes they yield unnecessarily sexual or provocative content, which are completely unrelated to the search term. There is a hide nudity button, but even searching for something as downright sexy as cabbage can result in crutches, butts, boobs, a man lying naked in the grass, some butts and some more boobs. And yes, of course, if you search fruit, there's plenty of melons and naked people cutting papayas for some reason. Maybe my affiliate sales are about to go through the roof. It doesn't make or break the platform whatsoever, and there is that hide nudity button. It just at times feels a little bit strange why those search results show up. iCandy has some really good references, but the library is only so big. It is growing, but it's still quite small. Doing things via YouTube, Vimeo, or Instagram, and then cutting them up in your software takes a lot of time. You get some fantastic references, the ones that you're exactly looking for. Frameset is by far the most convenient and well resourced out of the options, which is great considering it's the only paid option. If you can justify the cost, it is a really good tool, and if you do buy it, please use my link because I spent too much money over the last 3 months on this project I'm working on. Anyway, the theft of reference isn't just a great way to find inspiration for frames, it's also a fantastic way to find inspiration for color grades as well as lighting plans. And it's never about straight up fraudulently copying per se, it's about putting your own creative sauce on a familiar pie.
Apple pie, huh? Uh-huh. McDonald's or homemade?
So once I have all my frame references, I start to do a bit of a storyboard. I have my script and I put arrows to what I think goes where, and from there the Tetris of everything starts to happen and I get my storyboard. From there, depending on the time and the budget allocated to the project, you can start to build a pre-visualization or an animatic to really get that visual storyboard down pat. I would highly recommend taking this approach. For me, it's worked fantastically. That is about it for the video, but as we're always trying to learn and continue to grow, if you have any comments or suggestions on the way that I do things, please let me know. I'd be very interested to hear the way you do things. If you think this is great and you've never thought about it, tell me that as well, and tell me some music to listen to. Anyway, thank you so much for being patient with me over the last 3 months. I've been shooting this massive project, which is like loosely with Sony Australia on the Burano, and I'm very excited to share things with you. I don't know how long it will take to come out, but it's in the edit. Make sure you're subscribed because there will be loads of behind the scenes content coming out from that. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen some little snippets of that. We were very lucky that a lot of really cool brands loaned us some gear to use across the shoot that really helped elevate the production, and very, very lucky because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to use that I just didn't have the budget for. I'd already spent a small fortune over the time, and some of those brands like Freefly sending us a slow-mo camera just really took things to the next level. If you do want to support this channel, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel because it's been 5 years on this platform and I'm still not monetized, but I enjoy doing what I do. Anyway, go listen to Knuckle Puck and I'll see you hopefully a little bit sooner than I did last time. Talk soon. Bye.
Look, back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed.